welcome to the 108th episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a knitter from Toronto, and welcome to my corner of the crafting world. So this week, I actually have actually quite a few things that I've worked on. Some of them are new cast on, some of them are works in progress. There are no finished objects. There is a half finished object, so that is something. So let's get started with the half finished object. That's what I'll start with. So I have my pattern socks that I've been working on for the last while now. I finally got the first sock finished. I do have a little montage I'll probably put in here about me realizing that I was so close to finishing it and it wasn't actually done. And guess what? Now you can get to see the finished one. So that's one sock done. So I still got to get started on the second one. To me, for the second sock, there's no big rush on it because I've got a lot of other knit-alongs that I'm a part of that I'd like to get done. But last time you had seen, I had started the toe, and which was about there. And so I finished off the toe, and it's done. It's one sock, so it's not really ready to be worn yet, but it's close. So that is everything for that. I'm going to talk about these after, towards the end, but just know that that part's done. And I got my bag with my needles sitting down here, ready to go for the next one. Okay, let's talk about my next pair of socks, which are a work in progress. Which bag was this bag? Sorry, I've got a few stuff going on, so I'm just trying to keep track of what's what. So last week, you had seen the first sock for my Dreaming of Paris socks by Joji Locatelli. I didn't really do that much, but you know, I was working on other things. So the first sock you guys saw, it's not on the blocker anymore, but first sock done. I followed it almost exactly to pattern, except I reduced the stitch count and I switched I put in the Fish Lips Kiss heel for these ones because I find I don't really like the heel flap and gusset. I'm pretty certain if you've been watching long enough, you realize I don't really do them. So the second sock is here. My goal last week was to make it to just past the lace. Yep, that was in time for last week's episode. And then afterwards I was supposed to finish the leg. No, didn't do that. I just added on a few rows. That's it. Yeah, but that's okay. I'm happy with what I did. I do like it. This is basically gonna be, for sure these will be my Friday socks because I do have to go places on Friday, and I find this is almost like vanilla, almost like a vanilla sock pattern. I just have to deal with 2 yarns while dealing with it. So this is perfect for traveling with. I just have to carry my one bag with everything in it and I'm good to go. So the yarn that I use for this one is the Wool Miza in the twin base, which is an 80-20 for their sock. The color up here, this one is Teddy. This one down here, this one is called as Romantiche. So it's going along well. Still working my way through it. All right, it's time to take out the big guns for my works in progress. Put this one down here. I have put in so much work for this. I didn't even bother putting it back in its in my knitting bag. I just, because I had the yarn just sitting inside of a giant Ziploc bag that I got with another yarn purchase that I made like last year or the year before. I just put it inside there, left it in that. So let's see, where's the back? All right. Last time you had seen, I'm not certain whether or not I finished off the hem. I think I did. So you guys saw the split hem. You can see it underneath there. So I started on the sleeve last week. Yeah, so yeah, that is where I was, because I put my stitch mark, my progress keeper right here. So I am working my way up the sleeve. So far it's coming along nicely. I even slid my arm in to make sure that it fits good, because this part of my arm ain't that small for most sweaters, but it fits fine. So I'm happy about that. It's got a beautiful stitch pattern going down on the arm. I was actually kind of excited to work on this again. It actually looks very nice, very neat. And I found a way to make it work for me with the way that I'm doing it. So like, cause technically I like to work like the way I do socks, where half is on one needle, half is on the other. That would leave me right in the middle of my stitch pattern. I'm not doing cables down the middle of it. So therefore, that means I just put everything on one needle, do my pattern here, do the plain knitting on the other side, and working my way down. And then starting, was it Sunday? No, actually I started this yesterday. I decided to use an approach that I've seen other knitters do, is just give like 30 minutes of dedicated time for something. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days, and I think I've made some progress. I've done maybe, oh, see, I'm not good with inches. I don't know how much it is. So let me show you this way. I was probably about there yesterday morning, and then I've done all of this, and then from here down to here is what I've done from this morning. So giving it some dedicated time means a better chance of it being finished. So yeah, sorry, itchy nose. So the yarn that I'm using for this one is Riverside Studio. Yes. Sorry, nosy aunt. So the yarn that I'm using for this is, oh, I got the label right here. It's Riverside Studio, right here, in the colorway Salt and Pepper. Yeah, they're super soft base, which is like an 80-20 superwash merino nylon sock. And I got 2 skeins still left over there. I'm almost certain that I'll definitely finish off the sleeve with just the one ball that I have here. So I can do like at least a good couple pairs of socks out of whatever is left over from this sweater. So that takes care of my other work in progress. So let's get on with the new cast on. Hold on. So I've got So last week I had mentioned the, what's it called? Summer sock knit along. And I already showed from the episode before that, I think, or the one before that one, I don't quite remember. And I had my yarn all prepped and ready to go. And then as soon as I uploaded that video, I found out about another knit along that I decided to participate in called, hold on, I wrote it down. 1 week sock knitting. There we go. I can't remember who's hosting it. I just know I heard about it from Earth Tones Girl. So I decided, why not? I did it before, came up, and I love the socks that I did. I'll try and put a picture of it here. And so I decided I'm going to give it a try again. So here it is. So the yarn that I'm using for this is from Lizzie Ann Yarns. The color, it's her 80/20 twist sock set. The colorway is called Jane Austen Club 1 in the colorway Anne Elliott, I believe. I had gotten this from a friend, and I decided when I looked at it with the speckles, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to work with this. So I'm just going to show it to you in the basket because I wound it. So this is the yarn. So as of now, which reminds me, I'm kind of behind for today's goal because I haven't touched this. This is the most I've touched it since this morning. So I finished the leg already. I put in the heel yesterday. And now I'm working my way down the foot. So I started this on Sunday morning and having basically until Saturday night to finish a pair. So today, after I finish this, I'm going to be, and after I edit and upload, I'm going to be basically knitting like crazy, try and get this foot done. Hopefully I can make it to maybe 3/4 of the foot, maybe the toe, have that part done so I can get started on the next one. Yeah, I'm using the exact same sock recipe I used for the last one, which was a 64 stitch count. I did my, what I guess I call my sporty cuff design. And then afterwards, I'm doing 60 rows. And usually I don't use stitch markers like this in order to keep track of where I am, but because there's no pattern on it and it's not self-striping, it's harder to tell them apart. So I just use the light bulb stitch markers going all the way down. You've probably seen that from other primary sock knitters who do that. So yeah, there's that. So I'm making good progress on that. I'm more than 50% done on the first sock, and then by the time you guys see these again, they should be completely and totally done. Okay, put that back there. The next pair I started this morning. This one is for the summer sock camp. I already knew I was going to be doing these socks from a while ago. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, okay, let's go get started on these ones. Because I knew from the back, from before, I'm doing the stitch surface. I'm doing the stitch surface. I don't even remember what I put inside the bags. So here I am now looking in the bags and I don't see anything for stitch surface. I see 2 vanilla self-striping. I'm like, okay. And the other one was another color block sock that I'm going to be doing. I'm like, I see no stitch surface in here. Somehow or another, my mind said I'm going to do it, but I didn't prep for it. So this morning, I went through my stash and I pulled out yarn for it. So I'm using leftovers for this one. So this is Mondim Retrosaria in the colorway 101, in the orange colorway. I used this for my Love Note sweater last year. The other color I'm using is one that I dyed myself. I made a pair of socks out of these. And I call this colorway, I'm going to call you Skirt. So these are the 2 that I'm using for my stitch surfer. I haven't even finished the toe. That's how, but considering I don't really do toe up, it takes me a little bit longer to get started on them. But once I really get going, I'm usually okay. My problem is, when do I put in the heel? I always panic and then I'm able to do it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. But here it is so far. See? So after, yeah, I got my beginning of round. I haven't started the surfing, which is when it starts swirling on it. I'll try and put up a picture of one of my, actually, let me go double check to make sure. And I'll see if I can pull out a pair so I can get to show you what they look like. When you start seeing it going from like left to right, or sorry, when you start seeing going from right to left, that's called surfing for these socks. So I haven't reached to that point yet. I'm still at the point where I'm just going straight up and down on the sock itself, and then afterwards, then I'll start surfing from one side to the other. I don't know what I did wrong with these ones because the heel is not supposed to be in this place. I think it was one of those things where I did it, and that was the only place I could find to put in the heel that I wanted to do. But I'm going to have to try and be more careful with my directions to make sure that they go in where it's really supposed to go in, because that really just threw me off. Yeah. So I am looking forward to it. It's only going to be a 2-color project as opposed to this one, which I ended up using 3. But as you can quite clearly, if we do it this way. But as you can see, it works out well if you want to get rid of yarn. So I love holding the 2 of them up together like that because it lines up almost good, almost right. So that is an old pair of stitch surfers. I don't really wear them, mostly because I didn't learn how to bind off loosely, and that's why they're uncomfortable. So I don't wear them. I'm much better with 12 socks now than I was before, so I don't think it's going to be a problem in future, but I'm prepared for now. Okay, and back to these socks. They do have a name now. They are called the Cable City socks, and I'd actually like to get to the point of being able to share it all with you. For that, I'm going to need some pattern testers in order to test out the patterns, make sure what I've written and charted makes sense and can be finished. So there's going to be, if you would like to volunteer as a pattern tester, I would greatly appreciate it. If that's the case, please let me know on either Ravelry or Instagram. Send me a message and I will get that pattern out to you as soon as I can. There's also going to be a brief questionnaire, just trying to get the stats up, like the amount of yarn you used, the yardage, which would be the same thing, and the basic information to get to know, so I can get to make sure all the information is done for when I do release the pattern. So that is everything for this. Oh, I love it. It's called the Cable City socks. So that is going to be everything. Just gonna place it over there. So that's everything for this episode. I'd like to thank you for watching and for spending your crafting time with me. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.